Hey guys, it's Kevin again this morning for the Leftovers Season 1, Episode 6 guest. And, this episode, in my opinion, was absolutely fantastic. I thought this was the first perfect episode of the show, in my opinion. First perfect episode. I absolutely love this episode. And the thing about this episode that I really liked is, and I think this show is actually best when it focuses on one character. It makes the show just so much better. I mean, think about it. Yes, I love the plots of Kevin and Jill and Tom. I do like those plots. But the show is best when it focuses on one character because it gets you to care more for that character. And this episode, after this episode, I think my favorite character is Nora. I mean, Nora is such an interesting character, and I really want to see more of her in the show, definitely. This episode really made us care more for her character, and I really love that about this episode. It made us care more for her character. I really liked her character in this episode, and just her character is so much more interesting now, in my opinion. I really enjoyed her character, and I care so much for her character now. So, yeah, I definitely really enjoyed this episode, and let's just get to it. So basically, we see Nora. Her life has basically become like Groundhog's Day because she goes to like a grocery store, and she finds her buying all the items she would, and it's a really hard scene to watch, definitely. She's buying all the items she would if, she would have obtained if her family were still there. And, it's really sad, of course, because, her family's not there, and it's really sad because, she doesn't have her family, and she truly did lose something. She lost her family, which meant the world to her, and it's kind of broken her. She goes home, throws out boxes of cereal, unopened jugs of milk, replaces them with newer versions, and she's kind of that's kind of like her taking in, the fact that they're gone and they're not coming back. So she clings that maybe they will come back at some point, but that also feels, that's not going to work for her. So it kind of shows her, like, closure, sort of. It is comforting for her, sort of. That's kind of what this shows, and the other thing that she does is, she sets up this air mattress in the living room, and she calls it an escort. But it isn't the kind of companionship she wants. She needs to feel alive again. So she decides to wear a bulletproof vest, and the mattress set up to break her fall. So she hands the understandably freaked out escort a wad of cash and a gun, and she basically tells the escort, "Can you shoot me in the chest?" And so she decides to do just that, and it's kind of like a moment of rebirth for her, allowing her to hit reset on her grief before, and it builds up an unbearable level again. That's really what that does for her. She's then, so yeah, definitely, that scene was definitely really good, and that scene right there really showed me that this was going to be a great episode. So she's then to courthouse. She's getting her divorce finalized because, Matt told her that her husband did cheat on her, so she's getting her divorce finalized. And his indiscretion doesn't deserve the well of feeling that consumes her each day, and letting him go. It's likely a small way to elevate the burden she still carries on her shoulders and senses each time she returns to her empty home. Now, basically, what ends up happening is she decides to go to Manhattan, but before she arrives there, she sees Kevin. Now, the last time we saw Kevin, they had a lot of chemistry. I really enjoyed their scenes together. I thought they had a lot of chemistry last time we saw them, and they have a lot of chemistry in this scene as well. He's also at the courthouse, finalizing his divorce from Lori because, she told him to, and he awkwardly blurts out, she awkwardly blurts out an invitation to him to spend the weekend with her in Miami. And, he says, that he has a daughter to take care of, and, she decides to head there anyway, though she likely wishes she didn't bother at all. She decides to go there. So, she goes over to Manhattan, and she's invited as a panelist, but when she arrives to register, she learns that someone has taken her badge, and she doesn't know who has taken her badge, and it's definitely very, very interesting here, because she doesn't know who took her badge, and I just thought this scene was just really, really interesting, definitely. I really enjoyed this, because it's like, who took her badge? She doesn't know. So she's given this guest pass, and then basically she meets this very douchey guy in the elevator named Marcus, and he is very much, not a very nice guy. He's refusing to wear a name tag, and asking And she kind of, he tells people to ask him what he does for a living, and when they do, he responds, "You don't want to know," and, we don't know what it is. You know, for the most part, the rest of her day doesn't really get much better. So yeah, it's really sad for her. Her life is just, her day is not really that good, you know. She ends up spending her time dipping into various panels, trying to find who is signed up under her name to track down her badge. And she goes to talk to the post-departure delusional disorder, basically about figures who emerge after tragedies claiming to have powers. That's kind of like what she does there. So she thinks that she's found the person that, you know, took her badge, the fraud. And she follows her to the bathroom. But the woman isn't the fake Nora, but someone named Margaret Botet. And she's encountered her before, and Margaret reminds Nora that at last year's conference, the latter called her a heartless bitch. She called her a heartless bitch, and reduced her to tears after an offhand comment during a cocktail. So, you know, Nora apologized to her. She told her she was really having a hard time. And, you know, Margaret sarcastically tells her, "You're so much better now," because Nora's really not better now. She's still having a really hard time. And obviously Margaret's kind of pissed at her because she thinks that she did something and she didn't do. So you can kind of tell that definitely people do not really respect Nora right now. They really do not respect her. And then she gets caught into that elevator with that guy Marcus, and it's really just, her day is terrible right now. She is not having a good day at all. She sees his crew of friends. She's given a simple choice. Basically, the choice is to come and party with them or go back to the boring conference. So she decides to do that. She lets her hair down. She drinks pills, makes out, dances on couches in Marcus's hospitality suite. And she's pre-positioned by Marcus, who asks her for a kiss, but she decides to have sex with him, so she sleeps with him. So that's what she does. She ends up making out, you know, she makes out with him, and that's what she decides to do. Basically, though, when the next morning comes, it's not, the fun's kind of over, you know, she kind of had a fun night and everything, and I was like, alright, maybe she's having fun, maybe this will kind of change her, but as soon as that happens, she's kind of given a rude awakening by security, because they're accusing her of destroying property in the hotel bar. They throw her out of the room and the conference, and she pleads that someone else is at the conference using her badge to go unheard, but she's not about to give up yet. You know, she doesn't want to give up yet. So she cleans herself up, heads to a local coffee shop, creates a new fake guest badge, and heads back to the hotel, where she is again intercepted by security. But this time she's able to come up with a plan to prove who she is. Because she's due to speak on a panel that afternoon, and she tells the security to accompany her name, and whoever is sitting up on stage behind the name Nora Durst will be the imposter, and the scheme kind of works, because the fake Nora, giving herself up, revealing her to be a truther, using her brief moment on the panel to put her forth belief that the Department of the Sun departure is actually a smokescreen. And this, you know, event payment used to silence any further inquiries about what happened, and the questionnaire incinerate instead of analyze. It's a faulty asseration. So yeah, that was definitely very interesting. So definitely you can see that she, you know, she's found the fraud and everything. She found the frauder, and her life is she's still not happy, though. There's something about her that she's still not happy about. We know why she's not happy, but she's not admitting why she's not happy. She then meets this guy, Patrick Johnson. Now, this guy, Patrick Johnson, she saw his book called What's Next. You know, we kept seeing this book called What's Next. We see this guy sign the book, and he is actually, basically, he is a lot like Nora. He's lost 4 people close to him. However, unlike Nora, he doesn't seem to carry the same weight of pain. He doesn't have as much pain as she does. He doesn't seem to really care as much. So, he describes the outgoing emotion not as grief, but as ambiguous loss. Sort of like, he has a loss, but he doesn't really show it. That's kind of what it is. He doesn't really show it. It's not like, you know, complete. You can't tell, really. Like, with Nora, you can tell she's depressed, but with Patrick, you can't tell that he's depressed. So, you know, that's kind of what he's trying to tell her. Just have ambiguous loss, and she thinks of it as bullshit. She does not want to listen to that. She explodes at him in the bar. You know, she's like, what's, you know, she yells at him. You know, she yells at him, what's fucking next? Nothing is next. And I thought this scene was definitely very well done, because it's just like, he didn't help her in any way possible, and I mean, it's really like she does not think that way. She is thinking there is nothing next, because she's lost everyone close to her, and it's, you know, really gotten her, to change her point of view of life. Again, she's not really happy right now, as I said. She's not happy at all, and there's nothing that anyone's really going to do to change her from not being happy. It seems like she's never going to be happy again in this episode. So she storms out of the hotel, and then she's approached by this man. Now, this man has been following her in the background all episode. All episode, he's been following her in the background, and he was briefly pointed out by Marcus, and basically he asked her a simple question, a very important question, which is, do you want to feel this way? And she does not answer. She does not want to listen. However, she does promise to show her how Patrick is a fraud, because she pretty much thinks Patrick is a fraud. And he takes her to this building, and then into this apartment where this man sits on a laptop, and she's told that the price of $1,000 can go through a curtain and see what happened to Patrick. And she's very conceited, and she's very a little conceited, but certainly curious. She authorizes payment via PayPal, and guess who she sees on the other side? There is Holy Wayne. Now, Holy Wayne, of course, we actually haven't seen Holy Wayne be with anyone else except for Tom. He's been with Tom, he's been with Christine. Other than them, though, we really haven't seen with anyone else, and I really liked this next scene, because we got to see Wayne with someone else. We got to see how he interacts with other people. I just thought this scene was just so well done. So we see that Wayne, he's really not in the best of his spirits. He tells her he does not give a shit about her, really. And he's pretty exhausted about this. And he treats her initially just like another client. He feels like, he's like, I don't care. But then he sees that she truly is suffering. He sees her crying and everything. And I really like this next scene. This next scene was probably the turning point of the whole episode for me. I mean, this scene was absolutely incredible. I love this next scene. I thought this next scene was amazing. And basically, he wants her to be healed, and he softens when she's truly suffering. He tells Nora, she probably already knows deep down inside that feeling that this despair is the only way she knows how to live, as difficult as it is. And, he finally gets through to her, basically. He says to her, hope is your weakness. You want it gone because you don't deserve it. And he tells her, you do deserve it. I've seen my own death, and it's coming upon me very soon. So this is your chance. Your only chance. And I just thought this scene was just so well done. He's really trying to give her back that hope. Tell her that she does deserve hope. She doesn't think she deserves it, but she does deserve it. And, he tells her, and then he asks her again, just like that other guy did. He asks her, do you want to feel this way? And, she's crying and everything, and he really wants to help her. So, what he decides to do, he really wants to help her out. And she's crying and everything, and we can see that she does not want to feel this way. And she asks him one simple question. I really like the scene. The question she asks him is, will I forget them? And, and when she says, will I forget them, will I forget my family, will I forget anyone that disappeared? And he tells her she'll never forget. And for the first time in the entire show, we actually see him take away someone's pain. If you remember, he can do this to people. He can supposedly heal people. Everyone thought it was bullshit, but he actually did it in this scene. He healed Nora, and by doing this, this actually made her emotionally released. She's finally released. She, entirely. She's no longer upset all the time. She's no longer stressed all the time. She's now actually happy, and I like seeing this about this scene. Definitely, this was a very good scene, and this was a very good moment for her. And honestly, her performance in this episode, I don't know who plays Nora. Whoever plays her, by far the best actor in this show. By far the best actress. Oh my god, she is the best actress in this show. And just, this scene was so well done. I absolutely loved it. And, she's no longer obsessed with stalking the woman who slept with her husband. She was obsessed with that before. She really wanted to find the woman that slept with her husband. She was so into that before. She's no longer, she doesn't have to go to the grocery. It's not an ordeal, basically. And, she's very happy now, to the point where Kevin shows up at her door. And, the last time she saw with Kevin was not on good terms, obviously. And she decides to actually set up a date with him. And, I really like this, because, he's getting divorced, he just got divorced, she just got divorced, and, basically, he wanted to come by her house to give her another chance, because he really wants to go on a date with her. And, it's a very fun scene. We actually see, a very nice, lighthearted side of Kevin. We don't see him going crazy. And, that's one of the things I didn't like about this episode. That's one of the things I really liked about this episode. For most of this show, it's been a really crazy show with a lot of violence, a lot of really crazy shit going on. And this episode had none of that. There's no, paranoia, weird shit in this episode. There's no violence in this episode. There's no GR in this episode, which I thought worked very, very well for this episode. This episode was about emotionally releasing yourself. a woman who was in a real situation, a woman who really truly did go through a hard time, and that's what this episode did so well, in my opinion. And that scene where she said yes to him was just such a good way that it ended. The way they ended it was so good. And then the very end of the episode, you know, there's this questionnaire, and you know, before in the episode she was on this questionnaire asking clients, you know, the one question. That question is, you know, basically, in your opinion, do you believe The Departed is in a better place? And, you know, all of them had answered yes, probably because that's what they wanted, you know, that's what they think she wanted to hear. However, for the first time, she gets a woman that says no. She does not think it's a better place, and she's crying, and she's sincere about it. And Nora marks no, and this really shows that they can now actually take her seriously, and they think of her a different way. They think of her as someone who they know they can talk to. Because before, Nora was just as upset as they were. And, you know, she was just like them. She was not a very good, reliable source. She was just like them. And that's pretty much what she was. She was just like them. But now they know that they can rely on her. And I really like that about this scene. I thought that was amazing about this scene. And that is one of the things I absolutely enjoyed about this episode. Again, the episode was not about the craziness going on with the GR. It was not about people being paranoid, nothing like that. It was about emotionally releasing yourself. And that's what Nora did. She emotionally released herself. Wayne put that emotion, he took it out of her, and now she is happy with herself. She has emotionally released herself, and I absolutely love that about this episode. And this is why the show is good. This is when the show is very, very good. You know, they did that episode with Matt, where it was focused on Matt, and it was good, but I thought this episode was 10 times better. Definitely, by far, the best episode of the entire show we've seen so far. And let me talk about what worked in this episode. Again, this episode did not rely on paranoia. It did not it did not rely on the shock factor either. Like, it seems like the show is a show that wants to, like, shock us and give us, like, the big, huge twists. And this episode did not really give us big twists. The twist in the show is that she's happy with herself. And the thing is she going to stay happy with herself? You know, that's one of the things I loved about this episode. She's going to be released with herself. And kind of now the question is, what's next? You know, what's she going to do next? And now she knows what's next. And that scene with, you know, that guy, now, and I can't remember, Patrick, you know, that scene with Patrick really does show that she is now going to be like this. She's going to be very ambiguous. Yes, of course, she misses her family, but she's not going to, you know, show it to the world. She is now happy, and she can get on with her life, and that's something that she's realizing now. You know, now she has that hope. She has that hope that everything can go well for her. Because, you know, Wayne gave that hope to her, and that's one of the things that I really love, is that Wayne gave that hope to her. He took the pain and emotion out of her, and now she has been emotionally released, and that was definitely the thing I love most about this episode. It was absolutely fantastic because of that. Amazing, amazing acting from Nora, and next week we're back probably to the regular plot, and I just really hope the show does episodes like this, where it is not about the shock factor, and, like, it's more about them being emotionally released. This is something that has happened with Kevin, you know, he kind of did that, and now this needs to happen with the other characters. Jill definitely needs to be emotionally released, the GR needs to be emotionally released. I mean, definitely, I think Holy Wayne is the thing that could actually make this show better. If Holy Wayne does this to other people, I feel the show is definitely going to get better now. I really hope it gets better after this episode. If the show keeps focusing on one character an episode, I really hope they do this. I hope what they do is 2 episodes focus on, you know, the main storyline, and then they take a break and focus on one main character. I like that they're doing this, and I really hope they continue to do this. Now, the show only has 4 episodes left. With those 4 episodes left, I really hope they take this into consideration. I really hope this episode makes them realize that they need to do this, because the episode was absolutely fantastic because of what they did with the show in this episode. That's basically for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, my only question is, will Nora stay emotionally released? Is it going to work out with Kevin? I really hope it does work out with him. Do you think that, you know, Holy Wayne, do you think he's going to help other people? Do you think they're going to continue to do this, you know, where they focus on one character an episode? I really like where they do that. I thought it was definitely very well done. But that's basically it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for The Strain, which I have not watched yet. I will watch it after this review, so I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye. By the way, I'm probably not going to review that till later today. So yeah, I'll see you guys for that review. Okay, bye.